Computer. Come on, get it on. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Arlene. I am a market mentor with Monat, and I'm just gathered a bunch of the teachers of Monat or the educators of Monat to join this awesome call since school's out almost. So what I'm going to do is just get going right away. I'm going to mute everybody except for Lacey. Are you ready, Lacey?
I'm ready.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me just mute everybody. Mute and unmute Lacey. Okay, go for it, Lacey.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Lacey Sear. I'm a managing market builder with Monat Global, and I've been involved with Monat as a market partner since January of this year. And prior to that, I was a customer for about a month before I decided to jump on and become a market partner. So my life before, which was only 6 months ago, so it's still pretty much the same, but it's busy. I'm very busy. I have 2 small kids, 3 and 5. I have a husband. I am a full-time teacher. I'm working on my master's degree that I'm about to complete on July 17th. So I'm so excited about that. And I didn't feel like I had any extra time. We were always scrambling, getting back and forth to appointments and sports and all those types of things. And it's just busy, busy, busy. So I had been talking to Krista, who's also on this call. We talked together a couple of years ago, and she introduced this to me. And I just didn't think that I had any time, though we were kind of struggling a bit financially. I'll touch on that in a bit. I didn't think I had any time to do anything else. I felt like by the end of the day, I'm just ready to kind of throw it all in and just go to bed. I didn't think there was any time in my life for Monat at all. So also, because of having 2 small kids, 3 and 5, they've been in daycare for the past 3 years. And daycare, having 2 children in daycare was equivalent, more so actually, than our mortgage payment. So it was like we were paying 2 mortgages a month. I'm a teacher, my husband's in the Navy, so we make a decent living, but we were struggling. Anytime anything extra would pop up, it would be kind of stressful, and we just have to throw it on our line of credit. It was groceries and day to day, and that was it. Anything extra had to be fired on that line of credit because there was nothing else. With the daycare and the mortgage alone, there wasn't much more to do. So we felt like we needed something. So finally, after my talks with Krista, I decided to try the products first. I fell in love with the products after using them for about 3.5 weeks. My hair, because of my 2 children, was thinning a lot. And then so I started to use the products for the thinning, and my hair is now, it's shiny, it's bouncy. This would never happen before. I would curl my hair and it would just fall flat. With the humidity, it's like a lion's mane. It's kind of frizzy. And so it was a very humid day today, and my hair was manageable all day. So all of these positive things have been happening with my hair. So I thought, you know what, this is a really incredible opportunity. Krista keeps telling me it's an amazing opportunity. So I'm just going to believe her and trust her and dive in head first. And so in January, I became a market partner. Busy life. I decided to become a market partner, and I'm doing it. I'm finding the time. When I look back and reflect on my life before, I would spend a couple of hours, in the evening watching TV with my husband, or, I would just kind of sit around wasting time on a lunch break at work. And so now I fill that time with this incredible business, connecting with people and making money for my family. So it's been wonderful. What have I found with Monat? I found my confidence again. I was really kind of struggling with life, just trying to balance everything. And I've discovered that I'm a great multitasker, and I didn't really think that I was. So that has really come out, my confidence. My job as a math support teacher it's a leadership role. I go into schools and I support students who struggle. And so I didn't look at myself as being a leader, and I do now. I just have this renewed kind of confidence in myself. I know that I can work hard and I can see results. And so that has come from Monat, but now it's, transferring into other areas of my life as well. we have flexibility financially. We're able to buy things that we would never considered even buying before because we didn't have the money for it. So we'd be putting off. But we're painting our house this summer and we just bought a trailer. So all of these things we wouldn't, they're extras that don't need to happen, but they can now because of Monat.
So sorry, you had all those purchases in the last 6 months when you started?
Yes. Yep.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah. We're doing well. We're really happy about it.
Yeah, sorry, I have to ask you one question with your story. Did you say your hubby was in the Army or the Navy?
He's in the Navy.
And he doesn't get enough pay to cover what you're saying?
No, he does not.
Sad. It's very sad.
Yeah.
The story's amazing.
Yeah, and he works hard. And actually, just touching on that for a second, he's due to retire in a few years, and he's been away traveling a lot for the last little bit. And now, the kids are getting older, and he doesn't want to be away anymore. And so we want to have some stability to keep him here. And this is another part of the reason why him and I are kind of working together. He's really been a super support for me. And because of that, I've been able to kind of, skyrocket like I am. He's my biggest cheerleader.
Was he supportive in the beginning?
No, not really, to be honest. It's kind of a big investment at the beginning to become a market partner with the product pack that I purchased. And he thought that it was nuts. There's no way you're doing this. You don't have time to do this. We can't afford for you to do this. And I just said, will you please trust me? I'm trusting my Krista, please trust me. I know we can do this, and we're doing it.
And how long did it take you to recoup your initial investment?
2 weeks.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, I hit the ground running for sure.
That's awesome, Lacey.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share?
Just any teachers who are skeptical. I've been talking about this with a lot of teachers. I know time is the most precious commodity when you're a teacher because we feel like we don't have a lot of it, but we waste a lot of time too, just chatting and visiting and watching TV and spending time looking for, lesson plans on the internet. But if you can just focus your attention and commit to doing something like this, you can do it and you can be successful. 100%. I never thought I would be here in a 6-month period. Never in a million years did I think that I could do this, and I'm doing it. So if I'm doing it, anybody can do it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Lacey, for sharing. You are awesome.
Thank you.
Your story is pretty inspiring too, on a sidebar with your husband.
Thanks, Arlene.
I love hearing how the husbands flip over when the checks start rolling.
Oh yeah, isn't that the truth?
Okay, so thank you so much. So the next person who's going to speak is Courtney Morrison.
Hi, y'all. So my name's Courtney, and I started with Monat in April. So this is my 3rd month, and I'm at MMB right now, which is Managing Market Builder. And a little bit of my story, how I got started. I was in my 1st year of teaching, and it was really rough. I'm sure that y'all can relate with 1st year of teaching. It was pretty difficult. I was in a really, really rough school district, and there was not a lot of support from the administration, and I was kind of drowning. And I had been watching my upline, Molly Womack, and, I reached out to her and I tried some of the products and I fell in love immediately. I have well water, so my hair was getting really dry and gross. And so I tried the products through her and fell in love. And I'm like watching her success with this. And I watched her for a month before I reached out to her. And, seeing all the money she was making and how happy she was. And so I ended up, I showed my boyfriend, and I was like, look at this. I was like, I feel like I need to reach out to her. And I had felt this, like, something was pulling me towards this. And he was like, do it. He's like, see what it's about. So I reached out to her and I was like, okay, tell me about this business. And I jumped in immediately and I got started immediately. And what I found with it is I found my happiness again. So in my first year, like I felt like I was drowning. I ended up having an anxiety attack that put me in the hospital, and like suffered through some depression. And Monat has really pulled me out of that, and I'm getting like emotional right now. But it really pulled me out of that, kind of funk that I was in, and I found my happiness. And it was great to be around and work with really happy and motivated women all the time, instead of being in a place where I felt like walking in every day, everyone was really negative, and we eat lunch together, and the stories were negative, and it was just a really negative environment. And finding this company has been the biggest blessing for me and my family. And I jumped in immediately. So, and I found so much success and so much happiness. And I just want to say that, any teachers out there, really anyone that, feels like they need something else, or they're not, comfortable where they are, to just jump in and do it. When I started, all the other teachers were like, oh, they were calling me a quitter and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm not quitting, because right now, I'm actually not going to go back to teaching, at least for a little while. I want to kind of recuperate myself, and eventually I may go back for a little bit, but not right now. Monat has just been really successful for me, and I've found happiness with this. But at first teachers were calling me a quitter and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm not quitting. Like, I could go back and replan my classroom management and come back stronger next year. I could do it, or I could find my happiness sooner and find my place. And I feel like this is my place. I've never felt happier, more fulfilled. I'm around happy, motivated women every day, and it's been the biggest blessing
That
for
is
me.
crazy. Can I ask you like sort of semi-personal question? Like, when you say you were drowning, was it because you're new and then people were kind of being a bit cliquey mean, or was it because you were just new that you were overwhelmed? Like,
It was more overwhelming. I mean, a lot of the staff really in my grade, I was teaching sixth grade science, and they were really, really helpful for me. But I felt like I had no control over the classroom. So the administration, I felt like they were never really helpful. Like, they would tell us not to send kids out of class and to call. So I would call, but no one would ever answer the phone. So I would call multiple numbers, like all the assistant principals, the principal, the front office, no one would ever answer. So I'm sitting there in a classroom with kids going crazy, and there was nothing to do.
it's probably because you look so young too, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that too, and I was young, and so the kids kind of all over me,
Right.
and I had no control, and so I ended up having like an anxiety attack. So it was really, really rough. But finding this, and I'm thankful I had the support of my boyfriend, who really helped me with this and pushed me to do this, and he's been the most supportive person. And I found my place. I love Monat. I love motivated, happy women that I work with. Like, it's been the biggest blessing.
That's very interesting. That's so awesome. Congratulations. Like, you really do seem like one of those crazy happy Monat people.
Yeah.
I
I will say, anyone who's like, oh, I don't have time for this, it really doesn't take a ton of time. People say, well, posting, and I'm posting on social media, it's like it really only takes 30 seconds out of your day. We have, you step out of work, for like a 5-minute break, you can take that time to make a post, or during your lunch break, whatever it may be. And it really isn't hugely time consuming, but it is so rewarding, and you're really working with a product that is incredible and it really works. And so you're already excited about it, so why not jump in and help other women be excited and love their hair,
or men. There are a lot of
yeah,
men coming in too.
men.
Don't want to leave the guys out.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that, share, Courtney. You're inspiring to a lot of. I would take it you're a millennial-ish.
I'm 24.
Kind of millennial, representing. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Just so much to share. Okay, so thank you so much. The next person coming up to speak is actually Andrea. Andrea is actually super fresh, but the reason why I got her on the call is because she is representing the freshies, but she also is a former hair color specialist. She also comes from the nursing, and she's also an educator. So are you ready, Andrea?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I forgot my little microphone thing I normally use.
Okay.
So my story is going to be a little bit different from yours because like Arlene said, I'm super new and we're talking like 1 week. So I haven't even actually had my lunch yet, but I've kind of hit the ground running, and Arlene will tell you that I'm a real thinker. She calls me a thinker because I have to really contemplate and do my research. But once I started looking into the product and the company and tried the product, I was really impressed with what I saw, and I did a lot of research in a short period of time, and just kind of decided that I loved this product and it was something I could stand behind and help other people to have better hair, have better scalp conditions, grow their hair, whatever the case may be. So my background, as Arlene said, is that I used to be a hairdresser a long time ago, and Arlene and I used to work together. And then I became a nurse, and after about 4 years of working in the hospital, I kind of transitioned into education. So I've been teaching in a Bachelor of Science in Nursing program for the last 7 years, and I'm now transitioning again into the role of the curriculum coordinator. So the nice thing is that I no longer will have to do hospital shifts, which was taking up a lot of my time, and my hours will be much more flexible. So it's perfect to take on something like starting up the Monat business. Especially now I'm on vacation until the end of August. So this is a great period for me to kind of get it off the ground and, start in that initial period. So what's different about me, I guess, is that I'm doing this in addition to my job because I actually love what I'm doing. And I love going to work every day, and I love the people that I work with. So I'm not looking to replace that, but at the same time, I make an okay living from what I'm doing, but I am a single mom, so it can't hurt to also have some income on the side. But primarily, I just love the product, and I just feel that it's a really marketable product, and I love the business model. And I've been watching Arlene on her social media, just burning it up for the past year, and kind of, creeping on her every once in a while to see what she's been up to. And it's just been really fun to watch her and her sister embrace this company. And so one thing that really impresses me about the business is, like Courtney said, there's just a lot of really amazing women that you can connect with who are all supporting each other and all encouraging each other. And I think that's really important to have in our lives to, build each other up. So I'm happy to join the team, and I hope that I can be as successful as you guys have been with it.
Okay, I have a question for you, sister friend. So because you are so science-based and analytical, what made you flip in with all your research? Because I know you researched the bejeebies out of this. So
yeah, when I do something, I do it 150% for, until I've done it to death and I've learned everything. So I spent like 3 days looking at everything I could find about Monat. But what really impressed me was the fact that it was, naturally based. It didn't have any of those dirty chemicals that people are trying to avoid, but it also seemed really effective. And the testimonials helped to kind of show me what the potential for the product was, but especially the testimonials that came from people I knew, like Arlene's own testimonials, and her hubby and her sister and her sister's husband. But I looked up the clinical trials and the research, and everything seems really sound to me, and everything seems above board. And as I mentioned, I was a hairdresser before, so I've tried all the professional lines out there, and the quality of this product is unbelievable. So not only does it have the quality of a professional product, but the non-toxicity of it is a huge selling feature for me, because I try to limit as much of that in my life as possible. Plus, I had my own issues with psoriasis on my scalp, and after 3 washes with the black 2-in-1 shampoo, just to kind of reboot my scalp, and then using the Rejuvenique oil, I have absolutely no psoriasis or flakes or dandruff anymore. And I've tried everything to get rid of it. And all I've ever been able to do is kind of minimize it my whole life. And so that kind of sold me. I was like, okay, this works. So I have my own testimony already after a week of using it. So
yeah, that's amazing. Because I mean, really, you and I come from the same background as hair color specialists, and we never get clinical studies from any of the other products.
no,
right?
no, they tell you a lot of fancy things that the products can do, but there's no, it's just a lot of jargon being thrown around, but this has, evidence to back it up.
Love it, Andrea. Thank you so much, Miss Science Analytical Lady. Okay, so the next person we have up is Julie Perrot. Have I said her name correctly? Thank you, Andrea. I'm unmuting you, Julie. Okay, go for it. Thank you, Andrea.
I'm Julie Perotti, and I'm a MMB, which is a managing market builder, and I've been in Monat since August. And I kind of became a market partner in a really roundabout way. I guess it would be, my upline is Inza Duchai, and she's been in Monat about 22 months. And when she started, she brought me products. And at the time, we had just moved into a new house, and we still had our old house. And so at that time, I really wasn't looking to try anything new or spend any extra money that we didn't have to. But the reason I did get involved with trying the product at first is because my youngest son has alopecia. And, Inza had said to me, you have to try this, you have to try this. And I'm like, we tried everything. At that time, he was around 5.5. He got alopecia when he was 2. And I said, well, we went to the doctor, we went to the dermatologist, and, the dermatologist gave us cortisone, and we tried that, and I took him back, and nothing had happened. And I really didn't know what to expect. And the dermatologist said, well, if it was going to grow back, it would have grown back. So then he gave us another prescription, which I think was a psoriasis medication. But at the time, my son was 2. And this medication that he gave me to put on my son's head, I had to use rubber gloves to put it on him. And I was like, I'm not putting this on a 2-year-old's head. And then the next step was I had to clean my shower out after I washed it out of his hair. So I kind of dropped the dermatologist with him at that point, and kind of went a more natural route. And we went to a naturopath, we went to a chiropractor. Some dietary things that we changed with him helped, but nothing any of them gave us topically grew his hair back. And his alopecia is spotty. He just loses patches. But Inz was like, you have to try this. I'm like, we tried everything, short of going to see a witch doctor. I mean, like, we tried everything. So I was like, fine, I'll try it. I'll try the men's line. So we tried the Classic Confidence on him. And, he's young, so we weren't washing his hair every day, and we weren't spraying every day. He was, little kid, so it was like every other day or so. And within a week, I could see that there was like new growth starting.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Within about 4 to 6 weeks, his patches were totally filled in.
Oh my gosh. 4 to 6 weeks? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Wow.
And, those were patches that would take 7, 8, 9 months maybe to grow back. And by the time some of those would grow back, he'd lose other patches. And it was just this like cycle. And so my husband's hair was thinning. And so he's like, well, I want to try this now. And then I'm like, well, it's not fair for you 2 boys to have the good shampoo. And I want to try it too. So then I ended up using it. And so we were VIP customers for, a little under a year. And then last August, there was a promo to be a market partner. And so I was like, yeah, that kit, it's a really good deal since we use all the products. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and get the kit. And I told Inza, like, yeah, I'm just going to be a personal user because I can't sell anything. I tried before. I've done, I have done different direct sales before and really gotten nowhere with it. And, it really wasn't sales. It was telling people about my experience and telling people about, how it helped my son, how it had helped my husband. And for me, I was using a salon shampoo. and I used my Monat, and at the time, you know, I was going to buy it for him, but maybe I should use up my old stuff. And I tried my old stuff and I was like, it's not the same. And so I was hooked. So I had to have Monat for myself too. And so I really wasn't thinking it was going to go anywhere. I thought I was going to be a personal user, and it just kind of grew from there. Within the first month, you know, I paid my kid off, and did better than I ever thought I could have imagined doing. And I think basically what I did was kind of filled that time that we tend to waste on social media, like looking at cat videos and recipes and whatever, and posting it for Monat, or sending a text about Monat, or answering a question for someone. I've been a music teacher for 17 years, and I'm an elementary teacher, and I travel between 4 buildings. So sometimes in my travel time, I can, you know, do a call or things like that. But, you know, I love teaching music to the kids. But, you know, after 17 years of the same bell schedule and the same classes and the same songs, after a while, it, you know, although you get the reward from the kids and that they love it, you don't always get that from your administration, especially in the elementary. My husband's a high school choral director, and he's like a celebrity, you know, because he does the musical and he does, you know, all this stuff. And it's funny, like our secondary teachers do like recognize us when we meet with them, and they do say, you know, our kids wouldn't be where they are. We wouldn't be able to play the music that we do if it wasn't for you guys. But, you know, in our day and age of teaching, it gets harder and harder with standardized testing. Even our teachers in the classroom, you know, they don't have the freedom to teach what they want to teach. They have to teach what they're told to do. And that's pretty much it. So there's not a whole lot of room for creativity there. I mean, in my subject, there is. But this was kind of something for me that was for me. I do have 2 sons, so I'm really busy. I think that's the thing that teachers most likely say, is that I don't have time. You know, I'm working full time. I am off for the summer now. And when I did start, I started in the summer. So that kind of helped kind of get rolling because I had some time. But like I said, we do have pockets of time. This doesn't take, you know, huge time blocks. It can be done in small pockets of time. But I think it was something for me, and in my area where I'm a teacher, I mean, you know exactly how much you're going to make from now until you retire. There's no way to make any more money, no matter how hard you work. And there's no really any kind of recognition from your superiors. There are from the kids and there are from the parents. And that's kind of why we teach. We don't teach to get rich. But when I was having success with Monat and moving through the ranks and getting bonuses and all those things, it was exciting. And it was something for me that was fresh and new to do. And, you know, my 2 sons, it didn't take any time away from them. You know, they are 7 and 11 and they both play sports, but guess what? When I'm sitting at their baseball game watching them, I'm talking to the mom next to me about hair. When I'm at the hockey rink, you know, I'm talking to the hockey mom next to me at the rink. So it can fit into any schedule. And, you know, back when we finished, when I finished Smart Start back in April, and we got, a lot of people had gotten so many bonuses, you know, I was able to get enough bonuses that I was able to pay for my kids' ice hockey with 1 month for 2 boys to play ice hockey, one travel league and one an in-house league for the whole year. So it was like, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. It was something exciting. It's something for me to do that was just for me. And my husband has gotten on board with it too. And he talks to people about it and, you know, talks about his hair and everything like that. So I would just say, you know, anybody, if I can do it, anybody can do it. it's something that's fun, and you can make a great income. And like I said, when I saw, my friend Inza, after 17 months making the same amount of money that I made teaching in an affluent school district after 17 years, I'm like, and how much college I've done. And I mean, I've done probably 30 credits beyond a master's. I mean, and she was selling shampoo and she made more than I did. I'm like, man, I've worked really, for a long time to get where I am. And so it was like, there's something to this. If this is how people can find success with this, this is something that I needed to do. And that's basically how I got to where I am now.
That's really awesome. You have so many things I want to ask you about, but your story's amazing. But when you say you came in as a hair washer, did you find that you were working it, or you just you just started getting compliments on your hair, or did you actually apply yourself to work it in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, I posted a few things of my son's hair, of his before and afters. So a lot of people started flooding me with questions. So I think that personal story helped, but also, with my own hair, it's gotten thicker. My hair's gotten, I have gotten a lot more compliments. I mean, my hair today, I posted a picture on my Facebook, my hair is poker straight, and I curled it yesterday, and I slept on it, and I drove in the car for 5 hours today, taking my son to camp, and I'm really super tired, but my hair would have never held any curl overnight and through a car trip and everything else. So,
well, your hair looks great. And thanks for sharing your story. Everything, like the story about the prescription with the psoriasis, having to wear rubber gloves. That's crazy. Like, that's seriously crazy and terrifying, actually. And then you talked about the job satisfaction thing. Like, I mean, Andrea will agree with me. Not one hairdresser gets a free pen when we're doing what we do, and we work our butts off.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to get rewarded, as you say. But yeah, I love your story. Thank you so much for sharing. The next person we have coming up is Melanie. Where are you, Melanie? Duffy. Are you ready, Melanie?
I'm ready.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Thanks.
Okay, go for it, Melanie.
Okay, my name's Melanie Duffy. I am a teacher. I teach grade 2-3. I live in near Halifax in Nova Scotia, Canada. I've been teaching for 14 years and I love it. I definitely can connect with some of the other comments the other gals have had about the ups and downs of teaching and the respect level. But when we're just looking at that little group of kids in front of us when we teach elementary school, there's a lot to be said for the heart and the love and the reward part of the job. So I recognize that there's lots of people who find such success with other things that they choose to leave teaching. My story is different because that's not part of my plan. I get a lot of satisfaction from being a teacher. So for the right now, that's who I am and that's what I am. So this little Monat gig kind of came from out of nowhere. I wasn't looking for anything else. I was talking to my friend Andrea on my front steps 13 months ago. And our kids were playing in the yard one day, and I was complaining because I'm in my early 40s, and I had noticed for about a year a change in my hair. It was suddenly not manageable anymore. It was flat, it was dull, it wouldn't hold color, it wouldn't hold style, it was just bluff. And it even had these little wiry pieces of old lady hair coming out of my head. And I thought, I'm too young to be experiencing this, and I was saying that to her frustratedly, and she said that she had seen someone touting this product I had never heard of. And so I got some samples, and after the first wash, I just said, get me in touch with this gal. And she put me in touch with her, and I asked my husband, and when he held his breath, I told my husband that I was going to do this. And I signed in and I signed up, and I thought, if I can make enough to get a really good discount and maybe even pay for these products, I'll be really happy. And I joined with the big overachiever kit, because if I'm doing it, I'm going all in. And I had that kit paid off and had triple ranked in my first month. And it just kind of came from out of nowhere. the opportunity for the products that I was looking for fell into my lap. The opportunity for the business fell into my lap. The financial gains and gratitudes. I've been blessed to, I'm a market mentor if I didn't get there yet. I've gone to Vegas. I was this close to going to Hawaii just a few months after I joined. I've been to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas again. I'm sure that announcement will be coming soon. I've paid for my family to go to Florida. These are not things that I did in the past. These are not things that my family and I could afford to do. Are you okay, Arlene?
Yeah, sorry, I was just getting attacked by a bee.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, so the financial things have been great. I've qualified. We're picking out my Cadillac now. I have qualified for that, so that's really, really exciting. So
Excuse me, did you just say that you qualified for the Cadillac?
I did.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
You don't get that for teachers, right? Teachers don't get Cadillacs, right? Just correct.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure no teacher gets a Cadillac. Yeah, no. 2013 Civic, that's what this teacher you know, practical car, people. Yeah, so the financial stuff is great. I wasn't looking for that, but boy, I'll take it. It's wonderful. The real reward for me comes in getting to know so many amazing people. When people say this company is a family, I feel like I know the owners of this company. They don't know me from Adam, but I feel like I know them, and I feel like I have a relationship with them. I feel like I have a relationship with all of you. There's a couple on here that I know very well. We live close to each other, but I feel like we're all in this together. And I've never been a part of a direct sales company before, or an MLM, but I have looked. They don't have the comp plans that we have. They don't have the clinical studies that we have. They don't seem to have that family that we have. We help each other across lines. When it doesn't benefit me, I'm helping somebody. And when it doesn't benefit them, they're helping me. And it's this sisterhood that I love so much. That's super powerful for me. And the other thing that I've gained is the reconnections in my life that I have that I really think I never would have had again. I have talked to people that I haven't talked to in 25 years that are now, you know, either clients or potential clients, or have jumped on board. And it's so exciting to just have people walk back into your life and to meet so many wonderful new people too. I'm overjoyed with what this company's done for me and what I've been able to do with this company. So as for skeptics, having thought this through, what would I say to a skeptic? I think there's a few different levels of skepticism that I might have had starting out. We're taught as teachers to think critically. So with that critical perspective, I would say if you're skeptical about the products, you just have to try them. I mean, that's what we love about this company, is that there's a great 30-day money-back guarantee. You can try the products relatively risk-free. If you're skeptical about the longevity of them, look at the clinical studies, do your research. It's there, it's available, ask somebody. If you're skeptical about the money, you're going to make your investment back. While it's a big investment, it's not like it's a 4-digit investment. So it doesn't take that long to make that back if you put your heart into it. If you're skeptical about the business, you can research it. You can compare our comp plan to other comp plans. You can compare the family nature of this business compared to others. My husband, we don't check our mailbox very much, but I just checked our mailbox yesterday. My husband received a $25 Visa card from the company just for being a father of me as a Monat person, because I'm at this level. Like, that's who does that? Like, what company does that? I just think that's fantastic. And if you're skeptical about the business and whether or not you can do it, there's no minimums to meet. You don't have to do anything. You can walk away at any time. You're not locked in like other companies are. Nobody's going to come knocking on your door asking you for money if you decide that this isn't for you. No monthly minimums. You don't have to sell a certain amount or buy a certain amount. So there's no risk there. There's no parties. There's no stock. I mean, really, all you have to do is say, hey, I like my hair today. Do you like my hair today? You know, are you seeing a change in my hair today? And it's funny because I've never gotten hair compliments my whole life. And, you know, now I get them. Not today. Today I was at the beach.
Your hair looks good. Your hair looks good.
Oh, well, thanks. It's a lot healthier than it used to be. But yeah, these products sell themselves. So I'm just really excited to be a part of this. I wasn't looking for it, but boy, I feel blessed to be here.
That's awesome, Melanie. It basically does sell if you open your mouth. You do have to share it. Some people
Yes.
think it really does magically sell itself. You do have to open your mouth.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Yeah, no, the fact that you triple ranked in the first month, that's crazy. And to repeat, got the Cadillac.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations.
Exciting. Thank
That's
you.
seriously awesome. And when you say you don't know the Urdanettas yet, the founding family, you will, because now you're a mentor. And
Yeah.
they know you. They're watching.
I
Okay.
love it. Thanks.
So the next person coming up, thank you so much, Melly, is Sarah Matheson.
Hi.
Okay, go for
Hi,
it.
thank you. Okay, so my name is Sarah Matheson, and I am a teacher. So my background is I have my master's in education and children with special needs. I have my Bachelor of Science in Education. I'm certified to teach reading and elementary education. So I also have my ECE, diploma in ECE. So I'm originally from Ohio, but I live in Nova Scotia, so I'm a Canadian market partner. And yeah, so I taught in the States for 8 years, met my husband in Ohio. He got a job in Maine, so I followed him. I left my job in Ohio. I had a really great teaching position and, pension. I was billing a pension and all that, but he got a job in Maine, so I followed him in Maine, got a really good job right away, right off the bat in Maine, at a good school. Then he switched jobs again, and we moved to North Carolina, and I got a job right away at a really good school. And then he switched jobs and moved to Florida. We moved to Florida. I got a teaching job right away at a really good school. And then I got pregnant with my first child. And he didn't have as much job security as he was hoping to, because that's why he kept on moving. So we decided to move to Nova Scotia, where he would have job security. However, when I moved to Nova Scotia, getting a teaching job is not so easy. So I was like, really? So anyway, so then I had 2 more children in the meantime. I had children, so I didn't, and there were not many subbing jobs when I first moved there, and getting a teaching job, it's like a seniority system. And I didn't have any seniority. So, I respect the hiring system, it wasn't very, financially, that's not, really great for me. So anyways, I opened up my own licensed preschool facility. And then when the time was right, I got a job share opportunity. And then I started subbing last year as well. So I teach a 2-3 classroom on Thursdays and Fridays, and I sub the other few days a week. However, I've cut back on my subbing days because my income now it's sufficient enough where I don't have to sub. I am, of course, still doing my job share Thursdays and Fridays, which I love. However, subbing is okay, but it's not the most ideal situation. So with Monat, I've been able to supplement. And what I'm making now, doing Monat part-time, I would have to actually substitute teach full-time for 2 months. So, I mean, I can do this part-time, and when I'm making part-time in 1 month, I would actually have to work full-time subbing. So that really works out well for me. So I'm market mentor. So that's my status. So I just went ahead and explained my life before Monat. How I actually started using it is that when I reached 40, my hair was not growing. It was greasy. It was falling out. So I was using different kinds of products, and I'm like a wash and go girl. And I was finding that my wash and go routine, like no matter what products I use, it wasn't working. So, and I have 3 kids, so I'm really busy, and my husband works full time, and I was working full time. And my husband's also a type 1 diabetic, so I do really worry about his health down the road. And seeing that I don't have a full-time job teaching just yet, I was worrying about how I was going to be able to save up and pay for my children's education, like university education down the road. And also to just like really couldn't afford to go on vacation. I remember my oldest saying, Mom, a lot of like his friends were like going down south to like Disney World or Mexico, and he was saying he was in grade 3 last year, and he's like, well, why aren't we going to Mexico? Why aren't we going to Disney World? And I'm thinking, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. So I mean, now with Monat, like I'm putting money aside, and we're going away, to Disney soon. So I'm really excited and really thankful and for that. So yeah, when I joined, I initially did not start working the business yet. And this is probably like the skeptical part, I guess, is that I really wanted to go ahead and try and like use the products first and see if they really worked on my hair. But really, I should have just like went with my gut. So I was watching like the activity amongst the market partners between November and the beginning of March. And I was seeing like people ranking and seeing people making money. And I'm thinking, I have access to all this information. And I was actually trying to like memorize all the information, and it wasn't working. So what I found, I'm like, okay, obviously again, what I'm doing is not working. Trying to memorize everything, because like, I think like as a teacher sometimes too, is that feel like we have to like color code everything and like put like into like files and like rehearse and stuff like that. But that Dare to Succeed, like that's like your lesson plan. You just read right from that. That's so simple.
You make such a great point. It's true. Like, because you do label everything so perfectly, right?
Yeah, you do. Like I color code everything. So anyways, so I always say when I do the Dare to Succeed, it is like my lesson plan. And it keeps me on track. You just literally just read right from it. So yeah, so I decided in March, I'm like, okay, well, obviously memorizing all this stuff is not working. I just need to dive in and just do it. And there's no reason why I can't do this if other people can go ahead and do it. And I'm not, with Monat, it's like with teaching, I'm teaching elementary students how to read and write and do math. But with Monat, I'm just teaching people about hair. Like it's still fulfilling that teaching drive that I have inside of me. And I guess also like to like fulfill like the skeptical part of this conversation, it's like you can fit it into the nooks and crannies of your life. Like on my lunch break, I'm on my phone checking up the messages, seeing what's going on. I do it after school. After school, like I make a point of checking my messages. If there's like a little break throughout the day, I check my messages. Just like at nighttime too, before I started Monat, it was like I was sitting on the couch watching my husband or watching a TV show, and I'm like, well, this is not making any money. So I'm like, I want to do something that's like purposeful, right? So, and then also too, I was really surprised when I first started this business how many people are just not satisfied with their hair. So that was like a no-brainer for me, just getting involved in like helping people. And also too with teaching too, I love teaching. However, I was seeing some of the subbing last year before I started getting involved in Monat. I was seeing like teachers in the classroom. I mean, there's a lot of like really happy teachers, and we're just we do have a lot of joy. However, we do see was seeing those moments where it was sad, or like lack of support, lack of resources. And that's kind of frustrating. So for me, Monat it's like this little hidden nugget in my brain where it's like, it kind of saves me, because I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be depressed. Yes, teaching brings me a lot of joy, but I don't like, if there's moments where I'm like, I feel that I don't have as much control. Like I really wish I had more books, or I really wish I could change this, or I can change that. Well, there's some things you just cannot change, but I can change my mentality. I can go home and be like, hey, it's a really great day, or I can go home and be sad. I mean, like Monat saves my brain, I guess I was going to say. It saves my brain from those kinds of things. So I don't know. It's not like, is there anything else I need to say? I can't remember.
Well, Sarah, so your background, if you don't mind me asking, how much education have you actually done? Because you have a lot of education training, right? How many years was that?
Probably about 8 years, because I had my master's and my undergrad. I had my bachelor of science, so that was 5.5 years, and I'm certified in a lot of different areas. And I had my master's, so that took me 2 years, and then I had my ECE. That's a 2-year diploma, but because I had so many credits, I was able to do it in 1 year. So I have around 9 years of education, but yet when I moved to Nova Scotia, it's a seniority system. So I have 0 seniority. Well, I have some now. I have a little bit now, but
that's the clincher. Like what my point I'm trying to say is that you have almost a decade of education, and then you come into the system that's unionized, and then you have 0 seniority, and you're making
0 seniority
in 1 month part-time than you would have done full-time. That's pretty crazy awesome. Like, it's impressive.
Thank you.
It really is impressive, and congrats. Did you earn the Cadillac, or you just hit the level?
No, I earned the Cadillac, so I'm shopping around too. So, and one of my market partners was saying, she works for the school system too, and she was saying the school system needs to have a Cadillac program or some kind of luxury car program.
I actually have a question for you. One last question. Like, do you find that parents are asking you about what you're doing? The line of
well, I do know other I do have a few parents in my classroom where they're selling Monat too. They're not on my team. However, we have talked about it at conferences, parent-teacher conferences, just like, talking about like what system we use and all that stuff. So I think, yeah, at the very beginning, a lot of people were like, what is she doing? Like, what is this? Like, Sarah's a teacher. Like, she's not I don't know. If they're just like, what is she doing? But
that's pretty awesome. Plus your hair looks good. Melanie, did you want to say something? You raised your hand.
I wanted to say that Sarah is my direct upline, and she is the stranger who I got the samples from. So I feel very, very honored that we're both on here and we're both getting our caddies. And it's
that's so awesome. Oh, yeah. Goosebumps, right? Goosebumps. Well, thank you so much, Sarah.
Okay.
The final person we have speaking tonight is an AED, which in English means Krista. I'll unmute you. Thank you for coming and closing this call, Krista.
Oh, thanks. It's getting late here, so I really can't guarantee what I'm going to say. So if I start not making sense, just wave at me. So my name is Krista Hashi, and I am an Associate Executive Director, which essentially, if you're describing the levels, most of you would know, if your market partners watching this, there's 3 major levels. You have the market partners, the builders, and then the mentors and the director. So AED is the first level of director. I joined Monat last June. So June this month is my year anniversary. And I can tell you that I never dreamt that I would be a director in a year. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I've already cried today, so hopefully I won't cry. Lacey knows I cry all the time. I cried when people were talking tonight. I get really emotional. Okay, so let's see. My Monat story began a little bit over a year ago. And I tried the product. It took me a while to really love the product. And once I loved the product, I really knew that this was something that I had to be a part of. I just had this feeling in my gut, even though I was not looking for an opportunity, not even a little bit. I actually didn't even let my sponsor talk about the opportunity because I didn't want to get involved. Something I forgot to mention is I was actually on maternity leave when I started. So about a year and a half ago, I had my second baby, Barrett, and he was born very, very early, so very premature. He was born at 27 weeks, 1 pound, 13 ounces. So we spent a lot of time in the hospital, and so 3 months in the hospital before we were able to come home. And then, so basically, I was home with a newborn-ish, Barrett was like a newborn. We brought him home. And with a 1.5-year-old. So life was crazy at my house. Wasn't interested at all in building a business. But once I started to I don't know, I just had this feeling like that this was going to be something big. I didn't see myself doing something like this. I made up about a million reasons why I wouldn't be successful. Like, I think that when you're a teacher, your identity, a lot of your identity is that you're a teacher. So if someone would ask me about myself like 2 years ago, I would say, I'm Krista, I'm a teacher. That's how I would introduce myself. But now I think like there's so much more. I've kind of branched away from being a teacher, that just being my identity. So I started last June, and within 4.5 months, I had hit the market mentor rank. When I joined, I decided I was going to be successful. I wasn't going to do it and kind of dink around. I knew it was going to be big, and I wanted my friends to do it with me. I wanted my friends to experience what I thought was going to be something really special. So that's kind of how I feel like I honestly ranked so quickly, was my excitement for the business and the potential, and I wanted people to share that with me. So I ranked to Market Mentor in October. The following month, I ranked to Managing Market Mentor, which is crazy. And then in was it March of this year, I ranked to Associate Executive Director. February, I was due back to work. My maternity leave was ending. And the same month, about 2 weeks earlier than the date that I was supposed to return back to work, my son, my youngest son, who is amazing, he's like the cutest little button you've ever met, he was actually diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So level 1, he will still walk, he will still be able to do all the things that you would, want your children to be able to do, but he just needs some more support. So, and my husband and I are both very positive. So I think that I ranked so quickly for a reason. And I think that Monat came into my life for a reason, because when this happened, like, we were going to physio and occupational therapy, and I have a lot of appointments with him. And as a teacher, you really don't have a lot of flexibility in your schedule for appointments. And you guys all know that, because you're teachers. You have sick days when you're sick, and otherwise you're expected to be at work, So I decided to take a leave of absence for the rest of the year, because I could, because I wasn't forced back to work because of finances. And if I didn't have Monat, I wouldn't have been able to stay home. So I was blessed enough to stay home for the rest of the year and finish off this year with my 2 kids. And I have that flexibility while working and building a very successful business to give my kids the attention that they need when they're really small. So someone else made a comment earlier about, loving your job and not ever wanting to leave your job. And I think I totally understand that, but sometimes life throws you curveballs, and sometimes you don't know the plan B you're going to need. And I struggle with the fact that I am a teacher at heart, and I actually just made the decision this month. I got a job that I was really excited about, and I actually had to think long and hard about whether I was going to go back in September or whether I was going to take another leave of absence. I decided I'm really happy doing what I'm doing. I was driving down the street the other day, and this is going to sound kind of crazy, but I literally felt happy about the balance that I have in my life, what I have with my kids, what I'm doing with Monat, the time freedom that I have. I felt happy. And I went home and decided that I was going to take another leave of absence next year, because someone else said this, you're just living in the happy, like you're enjoying life and kind of riding it out. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. That being said, I think that once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher. And there's always going to be something that's, kind of pulling me back. I don't know that I'm done forever, because it's a huge part of my life. And we don't just, as teachers, we don't just go to work every day and come home and leave it at school. You know, we actually, I believe we make a difference, and we make connections with students, and we do make a difference in their life. So I miss that part, but I'm shifting, you know, hearing Lacey's story and hearing how Monat is helping her family and hearing how Monat is helping my friends' families. I'm living, I guess, that's where I'm getting my satisfaction from that I would normally get from teaching. But yeah, I had a conversation with Lacey one day about, you know, my plan when I reach SED, and that's, I'll leave that to the imagination. But teaching will always be a part of my life. Who knows what will happen? But I really do think that you can work this business very part-time as a teacher, as Lacey said earlier, and a couple of other people. You don't have to want to leave the profession. I certainly didn't want to leave or try to leave the profession, and I still consider myself a teacher. This is just a little, who knows? This is the time in my life of what's going on. So,
holy smokes, sister, you're like glowing. But you know, you hit the nail on the head when you talk about this is a really good plan B, because life does throw curveballs, whatever occupation you're in, right? Like, and the fact that you're able to do what you did in a year with your actual situation with your kids is really mind-numbingly awesome. Like, it's really awesome. Congrats. Like,
thank you.
It's crazy awesome. So what I was going to say, your teacher identity thing, do you use the Dare to Succeed a lot? Just a curious question.
I do. Well, I do the Dare to Succeed weekly. Or if I don't do it, someone on my team is doing it. But I feel like I do use it quite a bit.
So in terms of like, somebody said it before, I can't remember who said it, but in terms of like, you guys are always planning, because, and I can say this because my former my ex-husband's parents were both teachers, and they spent so much time planning and preparing and spending all this time in the evenings, unpaid, and now you're just flipping to the Dare to Succeed sheet, double-sided sheet as your plan.
Yeah, I mean, you can plan an event and not actually have to plan an event, right? Because as long as you have your Dare to Succeed, you're set.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh my goodness, girls, ladies, powerful women. Thank you so much for joining this call. It seriously was awesome. Does anyone else have anything else to add? I'm just going to unmute you guys. Does anyone else have anything else to add to this amazing call, helping teachers everywhere?
Just don't overthink it.
That's a good one. Yes. Right, Andrea? Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm going to post this up as soon as possible. And for all of you people who are watching, please go back to the person who referred you to this video. And good luck to all of you, and congrats to your success, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks, everyone.